I'm quite excited this year because I am an artist in residence at Celtic Colors. And from what I understand, every year there are artists in residence, and their role is to explore certain themes or certain aspects of Celtic culture or Celtic music evolution. This year we're talking Appalachian and the Appalachian connection, which makes sense because if you look at Cape Breton, the Appalachian Mountains are there, the range is there. So what does that mean in terms of Cape Breton and the connections that flow out of that? And when I started thinking about that request, to me, I was looking at the Appalachians and I was thinking, okay, what unites us with the Appalachians is that, okay, you've got these cultures around them, especially in Cape Breton. So you've got Celtic, you've got Acadian, you've got Aboriginal. Based on that, how straight a line can you draw, or how far a line can you draw in the influences? Well, from my point of view, it was based on, okay, Acadian culture and the Appalachians, and where do we go? And the connection for me was immediate in terms of Louisiana. Not that the Appalachians make their way as far back as Louisiana, but definitely that Cajuns come from Nova Scotia, therefore this connection with the Appalachians, connections with Cheticamp. And I thought it'd be a great idea to bring Michael Doucette and Beausoleil as part of the festival. I've been a fan of theirs since the first time I heard of them, which was like 20 years ago. This is multi-Grammy award-winning band. They've played with everybody. They've toured the world. They've got over 30 albums to their credit, and they're legendary. And Michael Doucette is a great fiddler, and the Doucette name kind of fits with Cheticamp, where there's Marcel Doucette. There was all kinds of Doucettes. And again, this culture of isolation. And I think with the Appalachians comes that idea, if you look at Cape Breton and if you go down New England, a lot of the small communities along the Appalachian have this isolation. The other thing that they have is a connection to these company town ideas. And when I talk about that, I mean, for example, the mining, like company towns owned the house, company town paid your salary. So you became almost caught up in this servitude type of role and a lack of independence business-wise. But what it did create was, it did create strong communities. It did create people who could take care of themselves. And that isolation brought out specific cultures, specific strengths, which are transferred in storytelling, which are transferred in music. So that connection goes through the Appalachians. It also links with the Irish and the Celt and the French, so that all these traditions eventually at some point kind of meld together. So the evolution of, for example, Acadian music, traditional Acadian music, to all of a sudden end up with Cajun music and then Zydeco music is not a far stretch. And so that linkage comes back based on our connection to the mountain range. Now, if you look at the Irish and the Scottish, it's the same thing. That evolution of music, people move. People came from Scotland, they came to us, but they also went down the Appalachians and the New England states and the inside of that. So that you get music and culture evolving. And that's interesting, to follow that route and say, well, look where it was and look where it's now. And part of that for us, during Celtic Colors, for example, we've got Les Orvenants. And I can only speak about Francophone and Acadian, but Les Orvenants will be singing traditional folk songs that date some 700-800 years. And then you'll have Michael Doucette, who's going to be doing with the Quatuor Beausoleil. They'll be doing songs that are originals, but have that influence from that whole Mississippi Delta. And they're French, and their background is Nova Scotia. So where did they take it? Where did they go with that? And then you'll have me not doing traditional, doing original, but much more contemporary. So I think that's a nice little palette to look at. And the same thing will be happening on the other side with the connection with Bruce and his work that he's been doing, putting artists together for this series.